Hello, welcome back to my craft room for another day in launch week. Today we're going to have a look at the Forever Greenery suite. You'll find this on pages 108 to 110 in your catalogue. This is a lovely suite of products which took me a little bit by surprise. I hadn't taken much notice of it. I love bright colours, I love flowers. Greenery, I thought, well, it's nice, but no, I probably won't worry about that. And then I saw some demonstrators playing with it, and I saw some of the things they were doing with it, and I suddenly thought, oh my goodness, this is beautiful. Does that ever happen to you? You see somebody else working with it, and then all of a sudden it looks completely different. Well, that's what happened to me with Forever Greenery. I don't have everything in the suite, but I do have several of the things which I'm going to show you, and again, I've got some projects to show you at the end as well. So let me bring in the Forever Fern bundle first of all, which is a set of stamps and dies. Once again, I've put my dies onto magnetic sheet and I've drawn around them with one of our chalk markers so that if I lose a die or forget to put it back, I can see instantly that there's one missing. The stamps are part of our distinctive range, so that means that they pick up ink in different densities across the stamp, which gives you a beautifully textured look to the stamp and an almost photographic image, and I'll show you them stamped out in just a moment. The dies are a mixture of open dies which cut out the stamped images and then some other dies which just give you foliage shapes. It's really beautiful, and again, I've got those cut out to show you. So here we go. Here are the stamped images. So at the top I've got the foliages, whole different ones. Here you've got a pair which go both ways, which is rather nice, and a little dotty stamp. I love these sort of texture stamps. They're always so useful just for filling in somewhere, or if I've stamped slightly unevenly and I've got a little bit of a gap, it'll be brilliant for that. And then there's 4 sets of words as well. Love and laughter forever after. You can do this, that's a really nice one. Hello, and to a friend that makes me smile. I'm sending out lots more cards even than usual at the moment, and to a friend that makes me smile is one that will be really nice just to let somebody know that I'm thinking about them and I miss them. So that's the stamped images, and here are the die cut images, again done with high contrast so that you can clearly see them. So the yellow is what's cut out by the dies. So you can see here these foliage ones are not matched to a stamp, but the ones down the bottom here, these will all cut out the stamped images. Let me see, will that work? Can I get that all on camera? Pretty much. So hopefully you can see that these match up, for instance. So that's the dies that are cut out. Also in the suite are some beautiful patterned paper pieces. So these are 12 by 12. The pack contains 12 sheets, 2 each of 6 double-sided designs. So as I often say, you can cut into one and you can keep one whole to stroke if you need to. It's called Forever Greenery. One side of the paper is an image which reflects the stamps I've just shown you, so a more realistic leafy image, and on the other side is a more abstract image. So I'll just run through them and show you both sides. These are really nice. All the colours are shades of green. You've got garden green, shaded spruce, pear pizzazz, soft sea foam, and pretty peacock. That's the other one. So you've got some slightly yellower greens and you've got some bluer greens. I love this one. It looks like I just got on there with some ink and a brush and just done some stripes. So that's the designer series paper. Also in the suite are some gold foil laser cut shapes. They're called Forever Gold Specialty Designer Series paper, and I'll show you how they come, and then I'll also show you them popped out of the backing. So they come with tissue around them and lots of card so they don't get damaged, and you get 3 sheets of each design, and there are 2 designs, so that's 6 sheets in all. So this is the first design. It's very reflective. Oh, I've taken one out of there. Hang on, let's give you a whole sheet to look at. There we go. That's better. It's a gold mirror card, and I'm hoping that you can see all these die cut images. So the first one are leaves and flowers and garlands, and then the second one is rectangular laser cut shapes which will make card layers, and there are 6 on each sheet in this design, so you've got 3 which are a grid and 3 which are foliage. And if I move those out of the way, what I'll do now is I'll actually show you them all popped out of the backing paper. Oh, I just knocked the camera there. I'm really sorry if that made you feel seasick. Okay, let me put them on some plain white, and then I'm hoping that you will be able to see them properly. So first up, I'll show you the garlands and the foliage ones. So some of them have got places where you could put a sentiment. That one obviously could go up either way. Oops, we've got little bits of the backing there. There we go. Just checking, yes, those are all on camera, aren't they? You can see all of those. And then there are some smaller pieces as well. These are all white on the back. I haven't tried it, but I think the backs would take ink as well if you wanted to do that. Or you could just use them white. I'm just going to move these larger pieces out of the way so there's space for me to show you all the others. Some of these are incredibly detailed. Some lovely bits of fern there. And here comes some more. A couple more to show you. There we go. So the garlands with the solid areas for sentiments or images, plus these all come on one page, and you've got 6 sheets like that. And then what I'm going to do is move those to the side and then show you the pieces which are layers. So here are your leafy ones. You've got 3 of those. Can I get those all in? Almost. I think that's better. There we go. So you get 3 like that. And then you get 3 which are the grid pattern. I'll just drop one on the floor. Let's give you those 2 to look at while I retrieve it. Here we go, that's better. And obviously these are rectangular, so they can go in either portrait or landscape format. So those are really good. I've used one of these to fill up a card front. I'll show you that in a moment. And of course, we crafters don't like to throw anything away, do we? So when I've taken all the shapes out of one of the sheets, I then snipped up the borders, and that gave me 4 really long, narrow strips, which I'm going to be able to use as an embellishment on a card, or in fact on quite a lot of cards, I think. And then also the little bits of foil that were in between the shapes that were die cut and I popped out, I actually used with the dies from this suite, and I cut out quite a few extra little pieces using the dies. So waste not, want not. You can actually get all kinds of things out of this lovely, lovely, lovely gold foil. So that's the Forever Gold laser cut paper, 6 sheets with 3 sheets with all the leaves on it, 3 sheets with the grids and the floral pieces, which are rectangular, and then save all your scraps as well, and you'll get even more out of them. In the suite as well are some gold hoop embellishments, which we're just waiting to come back into stock, and a trim pack which has got a natural trim in it and a gold thread as well. I don't actually have those, but they look lovely in the catalogue, and you can see them used in samples on page 108 and 9. And there are also 2 smaller size embossing folders which are beautiful, and they're similar imagery to the stamps and the dies as well, so it will all work together. Again, I don't have those, but they do look really, really nice. So let me show you a few projects. The first one uses one of the rectangles of gold foil, and then I've stamped and die cut several of the images there from the stamp set, and I stamped using coordinating ink on the same colour card, and the colours I've used are Garden Green, Pear Pizzazz and Soft Seafoam. And then I've stamped that To a Friend That Makes Me Smile on some white card and cut it out with one of the layering circles dies and added a Garden Green scalloped die cut circle underneath and some linen thread. My layers here, I've layered the gold onto a same sized piece of Garden Green card. This is Pear Pizzazz and my card base is Soft Sea Foam. And then inside I've used one of those stamped images. So that's my first project. The second one was inspired by another demonstrator called Danny Jama. I think that's how you pronounce her name. With a lot of white space, and this really showcases the stamping. Let me see if I can bring that a little bit closer. I'm hoping that will focus there for you. So I've stamped the images in Pretty Peacock, Shaded Spruce and Mint Macaron, and I've stamped them off either once or twice before stamping onto white card. I've also used that little spatter stamp in the background. I cut them out using a set of dies I've only just bought, although they were in the, I think it was the Spring and Summer catalogue. These are the Stitched So Sweetly dies. So you've got a selection of scalloped stitched rectangles, and then you've also got these interesting shapes here, which I've used on the next card. So I used a couple of these scalloped stitched rectangles and the Hello stamp from the stamp set, and then that's just simply layered together. Here I've used a little scrap of Pretty Peacock ribbon. You'll find that on the ribbon page in the catalogue. It's got some sort of natural ribbon with this colour edging, and I just snipped off a little bit of the edging to add a little pop of colour across the centre there. And inside, just a little bit of stamping. I'll put that down so you can see that. There we go. And my final project is this card. So here I've used some of the beautiful patterned paper. These two patterns are from the same sheet, so they're the two reversed images, if you like, one on one side, one on the other. So I started off with a piece longer than I needed. I tore it across the centre. If I hold it up, you might be able to see the tear marks. If you can't bear to tear your paper, then of course you can cut it. And then I just turn one piece over and then overlap them slightly to give me that layer. And then I have die cut some of the leafy images from Soft Seafoam card and from Shaded Spruce card here. This one is the, let me find it for you, the large image here. It's this one, and I've just cut off some of the little side pieces, and they're those Soft Seafoam ones around the edge. The one which is Shaded Spruce is this one here, and you can obviously cut several of those and put them together to make a circular wreath. I just cut a couple and put them top and bottom of this die cut shape in the middle. I'm not even sure what shape that is, but it's a really interesting shape, so I just added some die cuts behind it. And the gold here again is snipped apart from a larger piece from the laser cut gold foil sheets I was showing you. Again, I've added some linen thread. I'm really liking that with these floral images, these greenery images. It kind of reflects that natural look, this linen thread. What else have I done? And I've added some of the new in colour enamel dots. Although technically their colour is just jade, it does tone in really well because all the blues on, all the greens on here are on the bluer side of green. So slightly blue greens, so just jade works really nicely. And here I've again stamped some of the leaf images in Soft Seafoam and Shaded Spruce. I've stamped off once or twice so that I had much less ink on my stamp. And then the Let's Cheer You Up sentiment in the middle comes from Lovely You. If you saw, I think it was yesterday's video, I used this on one of the cards from yesterday, and it's this wording here, Let's Cheer You Up. I love the fonts on this. I love the sort of the mixture of typeface and almost handwritten font. That's the Lovely You set. And then inside this one, I've just used an extra scrap of paper with torn edges on it just to go across the bottom of the insert. So, fairly short and sweet today. Those are the projects that I've made using the Forever Greenery suite. I hope you'll agree that it's absolutely beautiful. It's very elegant. It's very pretty. It's just beautiful. The stamps in particular I really, really like. All that detailing from the distinctive style of stamps are just amazing. Thank you very much for joining me.